Welcome to our channel Info World. Please subscribe to our channel and watch video till end. Today, we are presenting impressive near-death experiences of some notable individuals, many of which have been widely discussed in books, documentaries, and research on the subject. These individuals' experiences have sparked significant discussions about the nature of consciousness, the afterlife, and the interconnectedness of life. Let me know if you want detailed accounts of any of these NDS.
Here are some notable individuals who have had impressive near-death experiences, many of which have been widely discussed in books, documentaries, and research on the subject. 1. Anita Moorjani. Anita Moorjani's life was forever transformed on the morning of February 2, 2006. After battling advanced stage cancer, and her family had gathered to say their final goodbyes. What happened next would not only save her life but redefine her understanding of reality, love, and the purpose of existence. As Anita drifted in and out of consciousness, she felt herself detach from her physical body. The pain and suffering that had consumed her for years vanished. She found herself floating above the hospital bed, observing the scene below with a calm detachment. She could see her husband, Danny, holding her frail hand, his face etched with sorrow. She could hear the doctors discussing her critical condition, their voices heavy with resignation. But Anita's awareness extended far beyond the hospital room. She felt an expansive connection to everything and everyone, a unity that transcended the physical world. Time ceased to exist in the linear way she had always known. She was everywhere and nowhere all at once. Suddenly, Anita found herself in a realm of pure, unconditional love. It was a place of infinite light and warmth, beyond description in earthly terms. There were no boundaries, no judgment, no fear, only an overwhelming sense of peace and belonging. In this state, Anita encountered the essence of her father and best friend, both of whom had passed away years earlier. They welcomed her with love and understanding, their presence reassuring and familiar. They communicated not with words, but with feelings and thoughts, a language that transcended speech. Her father conveyed that it was not her time to die. He explained that she still had a purpose to fulfill on earth, though the choice to return was ultimately hers. Anita became acutely aware of the interconnectedness of all life. She saw how her fears, doubts, and self-judgment had manifested as the illness that ravaged her body. She realized that her cancer was not a punishment, but a reflection of years of self-neglect and emotional pain. In that moment, she understood that love, particularly self-love, was the most powerful force in existence. As Anita absorbed these profound insights, she felt a pull back toward her physical body. Her father's presence encouraged her, reassuring her that she could heal if she chose to return. With newfound clarity and courage, Anita decided to go back. She knew her life would never be the same. When Anita regained consciousness in the hospital, her family and doctors were stunned. Against all odds, she began to recover at an unprecedented rate. Within weeks, her tumors shrank, her organs regained function, and she was declared cancer-free. Medical professionals struggled to explain her miraculous recovery, but Anita was certain of the cause. Her experience in the other realm had healed not only her body, but also her spirit. In the years that followed, Anita dedicated her life to sharing her story. She wrote the best-selling book, Dying to Be Me, in which she recounted her near-death experience and the lessons it had taught her. Her message was simple yet profound. We are all inherently worthy. and the key to living fully is to embrace our true selves without fear. Anita's story touched millions around the world, offering hope to those grappling with illness, grief, and existential questions. She emphasized the importance of love, compassion, and authenticity, urging others to let go of the societal expectations and self-imposed limitations that prevent them from living their best lives. Anita Moorjani's near-death experience is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of unconditional love. Her journey reminds us that even in our darkest moments, we are surrounded by light and that the greatest healing comes from within. 2. Dr. Eben Alexander, Dr. Eben Alexander's journey into the heart of consciousness. Science and spirituality began on an ordinary day in November 2008. A respected neurosurgeon with a sterling career, he had spent decades entrenched in the logical world of medicine and science. For Dr. Alexander, the mysteries of human consciousness were nothing more than a series of chemical reactions and neural pathways. That belief, however, was about to be profoundly challenged. On a crisp autumn morning, Dr. Alexander woke up with an excruciating headache. He dismissed it as stress or fatigue, the occupational hazards of a busy neurosurgeon. But as the pain intensified, his world began to spiral into chaos. Within hours, he was rushed to the hospital, slipping into a coma. The diagnosis: a rare and devastating form of bacterial meningitis. For 7 days, Dr. Alexander lay in a deep coma, unresponsive to the outside world. His chances of survival were slim, and even if he did survive, doctors warned his family that the damage to his brain would likely be catastrophic. The bacteria had all but shut down his neocortex, the part of the brain responsible for sensory perception, conscious thought, and reasoning. By all accounts, he was gone. But as his body lay motionless, tethered to life support machines, Dr. Alexander's consciousness embarked on an extraordinary journey. He would later recount this experience as a vivid, otherworldly adventure that defied everything he once believed about life, death, and the nature of reality. The darkness was absolute, yet it was not frightening. It was a void, a boundless expanse of nothingness, and within it, Dr. Alexander felt a profound sense of peace. He called this place the earthworm's eye view, a primitive, murky realm that seemed to exist at the threshold of awareness. There was no time, no memory, and no identity. He was simply there. Suddenly a light appeared, a pinprick that grew brighter and more radiant. It pulled him upward out of the darkness into a world bursting with color, sound, and unimaginable beauty. He found himself floating on the wings of a butterfly, accompanied by a young woman whose presence exuded love and warmth. She spoke to him without words, conveying a simple yet profound message. You are loved. You are cherished. There is nothing to fear. The landscape around them was lush and vibrant, alive with a music that seemed to resonate through every atom of his being. It was not music as he had known it on earth, but an all-encompassing vibration that spoke directly to his soul. He called this realm the Gateway. Beyond the gateway lay an even higher realm, a place he described as the core. Here he encountered an immense presence, a being of infinite power and compassion. This presence, which he interpreted as God or the divine, communicated with him in a language beyond words. In this realm he felt the interconnectedness of all things, the unity of the universe, and a love so boundless it defied human comprehension. When Dr. Alexander awoke from his coma, his return to the physical world was nothing short of miraculous. His doctors were astounded. Against all odds, he had not only survived, but had emerged with his cognitive abilities intact. For Dr. Alexander, however, the real miracle was the journey he had experienced while his brain lay dormant. He struggled to reconcile his experience with his scientific training. According to conventional neuroscience, his visions should have been impossible. With his neocortex offline, his brain lacked the capacity to generate the rich, coherent experiences he described. Yet they were more vivid and real than anything he had encountered in his earthly life. As he recovered, Dr. Alexander began to share his story, embarking on a quest to bridge the gap between science and spirituality. He delved into research on near-death experiences, consciousness, and the nature of reality. His journey led him to question the materialist paradigm that dominated his field, and to embrace a more expansive view of the universe. In his best-selling book, Proof of Heaven, A Neurosurgeon's Journey into the Afterlife, Dr. Alexander detailed his experiences and the profound insights they had given him. The book resonated with millions, sparking conversations about the nature of consciousness and the possibility of an afterlife. Dr. Alexander's story is one of transformation, a journey from skepticism to wonder, from science to spirituality, and from fear to love. It challenges us to rethink our assumptions about the nature of existence and to embrace the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of our understanding. Through his experiences, Dr. Alexander came to believe that consciousness is not a product of the brain, but a fundamental aspect of the universe. He described it as the quantum field of love, an infinite source of creativity, connection, and purpose. For him, the journey into the afterlife was not an ending, but a beginning, an invitation to explore the infinite possibilities of the human spirit. Dr. Eben Alexander's near-death experience is more than a personal story. It is a call to expand our understanding of what it means to be alive, to connect with the divine and to find meaning in the vast, interconnected web of existence. It is a reminder that even in the face of death, we are never truly alone.
Pam Reynolds' extraordinary near-death experience, ND, began in the summer of 1991, during one of the most daring medical procedures ever performed. At 35 years old, Pam was a successful musician and songwriter, living a life filled with creativity and joy. However, her world was turned upside down when she began experiencing persistent headaches, loss of coordination, and difficulty speaking. A visit to the doctor revealed a devastating diagnosis: a massive basilar artery aneurysm at the base of her brain, a condition that, if untreated, would prove fatal. Pam was referred to Dr. Robert Spetzler, a renowned neurosurgeon at the Barrow Neurological Institute in Phoenix, Arizona. Dr. Spetzler proposed an audacious solution: a rare and risky surgical procedure known as standstill or hypothermic cardiac arrest. The surgery would require lowering Pam's body temperature to 60 F, stopping her heart and draining the blood from her brain. This would create a bloodless, motionless field for the surgeons to work on the aneurysm. Despite the risks, Pam agreed to the procedure, understanding it was her only chance of survival. What she didn't anticipate was the profound journey she would undertake while suspended on the brink of life and death.
Despite the risks, Pam agreed to the procedure, understanding it was her only chance of survival. What she didn't anticipate was the profound journey she would undertake while suspended on the brink of life and death. As the surgical team prepared Pam for the procedure, her body was cooled, and she was placed under deep anesthesia. Monitoring equipment was attached to her body, including earplugs emitting clicking sounds to ensure she had no auditory perception. Her eyes were taped shut, and her brain activity was closely monitored to confirm she was entirely unconscious. At 11:25 am, Pam's heart was stopped, and her body entered a state of clinical death. It was then that Pam's consciousness seemed to transcend her physical body. She later described feeling herself pop out of her body, as if she had been released from a great weight. Hovering above the operating table, she observed the surgical team working diligently on her lifeless body. She could see the bone saw used to open her skull, and even described its appearance and sound in detailed details she could not have known. Given her state of unconsciousness and the earplugs blocking external sound. From her elevated vantage point, Pam noticed a sense of detachment from the scene below. There was no fear or distress, only curiosity and a feeling of immense freedom. She became aware of a tunnel filled with light and felt herself being pulled toward it. The light was warm and inviting, exuding an overwhelming sense of love and peace. As Pam entered the tunnel, she encountered a realm of indescribable beauty. Colors were more vibrant than anything she had ever seen, and the air seemed to hum with an ethereal music that resonated deeply within her. She was greeted by deceased relatives, including her grandmother and uncle, who radiated love and joy. They communicated with her telepathically, assuring her she was safe and loved. Pam's journey continued to a point of incredible light, where she felt the presence of a higher power or divine being. Though the being did not take on a specific form, its energy was unmistakable. In this state, Pam experienced a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all life and a sense of boundless compassion. She felt as though she were returning to a source she had always known, but forgotten. However, as much as Pam wanted to stay in this realm, she was told it was not yet her time. Her loved ones in the otherworldly realm encouraged her to return to her body, reminding her of her purpose on earth. Reluctantly, Pam agreed, feeling a sudden pull back toward the physical world.
Pam's consciousness re-entered her body just as the surgical team was completing the procedure. She awoke with vivid memories of her experience, which she recounted in remarkable detail to her family and doctors. Her descriptions of the operating room, the surgical tools, and the conversations among the medical staff astonished everyone, as they were later confirmed to be accurate. Even more remarkable was Pam's recovery. Despite the invasive nature of the surgery, she healed quickly and with minimal complications. Her experience left her with a profound sense of purpose and a deep belief in the continuation of consciousness beyond physical death.
Pam Reynolds' near-death experience became one of the most well-documented and studied cases in the field. Her account challenged conventional scientific understanding of consciousness and fueled ongoing debates about the nature of life, death, and the possibility of an afterlife. In the years that followed, Pam shared her story widely, offering hope and inspiration to those grappling with their own mortality. Her journey reminds us that the boundaries between life and death may not be as rigid as they seem, and that love and connection endure beyond the physical realm.
Howard Storm's life was forever changed on a day that began like any other. In 1985, Howard was a professor of art at Northern Kentucky University, a man who prided himself on his intellectual prowess and pragmatic approach to life. An avowed atheist, he dismissed notions of the afterlife as fanciful myths. But everything he believed about existence and its purpose would be turned upside down in the most profound and terrifying way on that fateful day Howard was leading a group of students on a cultural tour in Paris. At 38 years old, he was in the prime of his career, but a sudden and excruciating pain in his abdomen brought his plans to a halt. What he initially dismissed as indigestion rapidly escalated into a life-threatening crisis. Collapsing in agony, Howard was rushed to a hospital, where doctors diagnosed a perforated duodenum. Emergency surgery was needed, but delays left him. Languishing in pain, teetering on the edge of consciousness as the hours stretched into the afternoon, Howard's condition worsened. The agony was overwhelming, and he felt the life draining from his body. Then, without warning, he found himself standing beside the hospital bed, gazing at his own lifeless body. It was a moment of utter disbelief. How could he be dead, and yet still fully aware, more alive than ever?
Howard stormed the hospital room faded, and Howard became aware of figures standing nearby. They were shadowy but oddly familiar, their voices soft and inviting. "Come with us," they said, beckoning him to follow. Though uneasy, Howard complied, drawn by their insistence and his own confusion. The figures led him down a dim corridor that seemed to stretch endlessly. As they moved deeper into the gloom, the atmosphere grew oppressive. The figures' tones shifted from friendly to mocking, their laughter cruel and taunting. Realizing he had been deceived, Howard tried to resist, but it was too late. The once shadowy figures revealed their true forms, grotesque, menacing entities that encircled him. They began to attack him, tearing at him with a ferocity that defied comprehension. Howard screamed for help, his despair consuming him as he was plunged into what he could only describe as hell. Amid the torment, a faint memory surfaced, a fragment from his childhood, when he had been taught a simple prayer. With every ounce of will he had left, Howard called out, "Jesus, save me." In an instant, a radiant light pierced the darkness, and the entities recoiled, shrieking in fear. The light grew brighter, and Howard felt himself lifted from the pit by an unseen force. He was enveloped in a love so pure and overwhelming that it brought him to tears. It was a love that saw every part of him, his flaws, his failures, his humanity, and accepted him completely. Howard was transported to a realm of indescribable beauty and light. He encountered beings of immense wisdom and compassion who communicated with him telepathically. They guided him through a life review, showing him moments of his life with startling clarity. Howard saw not only his actions, but also their impact on others, experiencing both the joy and pain he had caused. He realized how self-centered and materialistic his life had been, how much he had neglected love and kindness. Through this life review, Howard was given profound insights into the nature of existence. The beings explained that life on earth is a gift, an opportunity to grow spiritually and learn to love unconditionally. They emphasized the interconnectedness of all things and the importance of living with compassion, humility, and gratitude. Though Howard longed to stay in this realm of divine love, he was told it was not yet his time. His work on earth was unfinished, and he had to return to fulfill his purpose. Reluctantly, he agreed, and with a sense of peace and renewed determination, he was sent back. When Howard awoke in the hospital, his life was forever altered. The excruciating pain had subsided, and he was alive against all odds. But more importantly, his heart and soul had undergone a profound transformation. The arrogant, cynical atheist was gone, replaced by a man filled with humility, faith, and an unshakable conviction in the power of love. In the years that followed, Howard's life took a completely new direction. He left his career as an art professor and became a pastor, dedicating his life to sharing the lessons he had learned during his near-death experience. He wrote books, gave lectures, and inspired countless people with his story of redemption and spiritual awakening. Howard's near-death experience is a testament to the transformative power of grace and the boundless love that awaits us beyond this physical existence. It is a story that challenges us to examine our own lives, to let go of fear and judgment, and to embrace the divine within ourselves and others. Through his journey, Howard Storm discovered a truth that transcends all boundaries. Love is the ultimate purpose of life, the force that binds us all, and the light that guides us home.
Betty Eddie's near-death experience is one of the most remarkable and detailed accounts ever recorded, offering profound insights into the nature of life, death, and the afterlife. Her journey began in 1973, following a routine surgery. That would leave her forever transformed. Betty, a wife and mother of 7, lived a busy life filled with the joys and challenges of raising a family. At 31 years old, she underwent a hysterectomy. Although the procedure was deemed routine, Betty's body reacted unexpectedly during her recovery, leading to a sequence of events that would take her beyond the veil of mortality. As the anesthesia began to wear off, Betty felt herself slipping away. She knew something was terribly wrong. Her breathing slowed, her heart grew faint, and a sense of peace washed over her. Then, in an instant, she was outside her body. Hovering above the hospital bed, she could see her lifeless form below. Nurses rushed in and out of the room, but Betty felt no fear or attachment to the scene. Instead, she was enveloped in a sense of calm and curiosity.
The hospital room faded, and Betty's awareness expanded into a realm of light and love. She felt herself being gently pulled into a tunnel, where she was surrounded by an overwhelming presence of warmth and compassion. The light at the end of the tunnel grew brighter, beckoning her forward. As she emerged from the tunnel, Betty was greeted by 3 beings of light, whom she recognized as her spiritual guides. Their appearance radiated purity and wisdom, and their presence filled her with a sense of deep connection and familiarity. Though they did not speak in words, Betty understood them perfectly through an intuitive exchange of thoughts and feelings. They conveyed that she was safe, loved, and welcomed. The guides led her to a place of extraordinary beauty, a realm that seemed more real than anything she had ever experienced on earth. Colors were vibrant beyond imagination, and the air was filled with a harmonious melody that resonated in her soul. Betty described the landscape as lush and alive, with every element trees, flowers, water exuding an energy of love and interconnectedness. Betty's journey continued as she encountered a being of immense light and love, whom she identified as Jesus Christ. His presence was overwhelming in its kindness and understanding. She felt no judgment from him, only an unconditional love that accepted her completely. In his presence, she was shown a life review, a panoramic replay of her life's moments. The review was not a judgment, but a learning experience. Betty saw how her actions, words, and even thoughts had impacted others. She felt the emotions of those she had hurt and those she had helped. This profound understanding revealed the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of love and kindness in every interaction. She learned that earthly life is a school, a place for souls to grow and evolve through experiences and relationships. During her time in the other realm, Betty was also shown the workings of the universe. She described being taken to a hall of knowledge, where she was given answers to many of life's greatest mysteries. She understood the purpose of life, the nature of God, and the intricate balance of free will and divine guidance. Betty saw how every soul has a unique purpose, and how challenges and hardships are opportunities for growth and enlightenment. She also encountered loved ones who had passed away, including relatives she had never met in her earthly life but recognized instantly in the spiritual realm. Their presence was joyous and comforting, affirming the continuity of existence beyond physical death. Despite the unparalleled beauty and peace of the afterlife, Betty was told that her mission on earth was not yet complete. Though she longed to remain in this realm of love, she understood the importance of returning to fulfill her purpose. Reluctantly, she agreed and felt herself being drawn back through the tunnel. Re-entering her body was jarring. The sensations of pain and the heaviness of her physical form were stark contrasts to the lightness and freedom she had experienced. But Betty awoke with a renewed sense of purpose and a deep understanding of life's spiritual dimensions. Betty's near-death experience profoundly changed her perspective on life and death. She realized the importance of love, forgiveness, and living authentically. Her experience inspired her to share her story widely, culminating in her best-selling book, Embraced by the Light. The book resonated with millions, offering comfort and hope to those seeking answers about the afterlife. Betty's journey continues to inspire and uplift people around the world, reminding them of the eternal nature of the soul and the boundless love that awaits us all. Her story challenges us to live with greater compassion, to cherish our connections, and to embrace the divine light within ourselves and others. George Ritchie's near-death experience is one of the most profound and detailed accounts of life beyond the veil. His journey began in December 1943 when he was a young Army recruit, preparing for a future that would forever be altered by an extraordinary event. At just 20 years old, George Ritchie was full of ambition and dreams. He was training at Camp Barkley, Texas, with aspirations of becoming a medical officer. However, his journey took a sudden and unexpected turn when he was struck by a severe case of pneumonia. In the days before antibiotics were widely available, such an illness was often fatal. George's condition deteriorated rapidly. One evening, he lost consciousness, and his heart stopped beating. He was declared clinically dead by the attending medical staff. But while his body lay lifeless, George's consciousness embarked on a journey that would change his understanding of life, death, and the universe itself. George later described the moment he left his body as both surreal and astonishing. He felt himself rise above the hospital bed, looking down at his physical form with a mixture of curiosity and detachment. The scene below was bustling with activity as doctors and nurses worked to revive him. But George felt no fear or pain. Instead, he was filled with a sense of weightlessness and freedom. As he adjusted to his new state of being, George noticed a light in the distance, radiant and inviting. Drawn to it, he found himself traveling at an incredible speed. He passed through what he could only describe as a barrier and entered a realm of indescribable beauty. In this otherworldly dimension, George encountered a presence of overwhelming love and wisdom. He identified this presence as Jesus Christ. The being radiated light and unconditional love that seemed to permeate every fiber of George's existence. Words were unnecessary. Communication was instantaneous and pure, transcending language. George was guided through a life review, a vivid and all-encompassing replay of his actions, decisions, and their impact on others. He saw not only the events of his life, but also the ripple effects of those events on others. This review was not judgmental, but profoundly educational. It revealed to him the importance of love, kindness, and living a life aligned with higher principles. Following the life review, George was shown other dimensions of existence. He described being taken to various realms, each reflecting different states of spiritual growth and understanding. Some were places of light and harmony, inhabited by souls who radiated peace and love. Others were darker, filled with beings consumed by anger, fear, or confusion. One of the most profound aspects of George's journey was his glimpse into the interconnectedness of all life. He saw how every soul is part of a vast and intricate web, bound together by divine love and purpose. He was shown the higher laws that govern the universe and the spiritual truths that underlie human existence. As much as George wanted to remain in this luminous realm, he was told that his mission on Earth was not yet complete. He had a purpose to fulfill, lessons to learn, and a message to bring back to the world. Reluctantly, he agreed to return. The transition back to his physical body was abrupt and jarring. George awoke to find himself in the hospital bed, surrounded by astonished medical staff. They had declared him dead for several minutes and were stunned by his sudden revival. George, however, was consumed by the profound experience he had just undergone. In the years that followed, George Ricci dedicated his life to understanding and sharing the insights he gained during his near-death experience. He became a psychiatrist and a passionate advocate for the exploration of spiritual truths. His account, detailed in his book Return from Tomorrow, has inspired countless individuals to reflect on their own lives and the greater purpose of existence. George's story is a testament to the transformative power of near-death experiences. It challenges us to look beyond the material world, to embrace love and compassion, and to live with the awareness of our eternal connection to the divine. Through his journey, George Ricci offers a glimpse of the boundless beauty and wisdom that awaits us all on the other side. Mellon Thomas Benedict's near-death experience ND is a journey that offers a fascinating glimpse into the nature of existence, consciousness, and the interconnectedness of all life. In 1982, Mellon faced a terminal diagnosis that ultimately led him to an extraordinary encounter with the unknown, an experience that would transform his understanding of reality. Mellon was an accomplished artist and a man deeply troubled by the state of the world. Environmental degradation, societal conflicts, and personal struggles weighed heavily on him. These concerns consumed him to the point of despair, and when he was diagnosed with an advanced and inoperable form of cancer, he felt his life slipping away. Doctors gave him 6 to 8 months to live. Strangely, rather than panic, he felt an odd sense of surrender. He prepared to face death head-on. One morning in 1982, as the cancer progressed and his body weakened, Mellon's world went dark. He felt his life ebbing away and succumbed to what he thought was the inevitable end. But instead of nothingness, he was about to embark on a journey beyond the limits of imagination. Mellon's consciousness awakened outside of his physical body. He found himself floating above the bed, observing his lifeless form below. The scene was serene, yet surreal. He felt no fear, only curiosity. As he adjusted to this new perspective, he became aware of a radiant light in the distance. It called to him, a source of love and understanding unlike anything he had ever known. Drawn to the light, Mellon began to move toward it. The light was brilliant, yet not blinding, emanating warmth and compassion. As he approached, he felt an indescribable connection to it, as if it knew every part of him and accepted him unconditionally. He later referred to this presence as the light and described it as the source of all life, encompassing all wisdom, love, and understanding. Upon entering the light, Mellon experienced a life review, but it was unlike the linear sequence others had described. Instead, it was an expansive, holographic understanding of his entire life. Every moment, decision, and interaction unfolded simultaneously, and he experienced not only his perspective, but also the perspectives of those he had affected. This review revealed the interconnectedness of all beings and the profound impact of even the smallest actions. As his journey continued, Mellon was granted the ability to ask the light any question he desired. He explored profound topics about the nature of existence, the origins of the universe, and the purpose of life. He was shown the intricate web that connects all life, a unity beyond comprehension. The light revealed that love and creativity are the driving forces of the universe, and that human beings are co-creators with the divine. Mellon Thomas Benedict's near-death experience ND is a journey that offers a fascinating glimpse into the nature of existence, consciousness, and the interconnectedness of all life. In 1982, Mellon faced a terminal diagnosis that ultimately led him to an extraordinary encounter with the unknown, an experience that would transform his understanding of reality. Mellon was an accomplished artist and a man deeply troubled by the state of the world. Environmental degradation, societal conflicts, and personal struggles weighed heavily on him. These concerns consumed him to the point of despair, and when he was diagnosed with an advanced and inoperable form of cancer, he felt his life slipping away. Doctors gave him 6 to 8 months to live. Strangely, rather than panic, he felt an odd sense of surrender. He prepared to face death head-on. One morning in 1982, as the cancer progressed and his body weakened, Mellon's world went dark. He felt his life ebbing away and succumbed to what he thought was the inevitable end. But instead of nothingness, he was about to embark on a journey beyond the limits of imagination. Mellon's consciousness awakened outside of his physical body. He found himself floating above the bed, observing his lifeless form below. The scene was serene, yet surreal. He felt no fear, only curiosity. As he adjusted to this new perspective, he became aware of a radiant light in the distance. It called to him, a source of love and understanding unlike anything he had ever known. Drawn to the light, Mellon began to move toward it. The light was brilliant, yet not blinding, emanating warmth and compassion. As he approached, he felt an indescribable connection to it, as if it knew every part of him and accepted him unconditionally. He later referred to this presence as the light and described it as the source of all life, encompassing all wisdom, love, and understanding. Upon entering the light, Mellon experienced a life review, but it was unlike the linear sequence others had described. Instead, it was an expansive, holographic understanding of his entire life. Every moment, decision, and interaction unfolded simultaneously, and he experienced not only his perspective, but also the perspectives of those he had affected. This review revealed the interconnectedness of all beings and the profound impact of even the smallest actions. As his journey continued, Mellon was granted the ability to ask the light any question he desired. He explored profound topics about the nature of existence, the origins of the universe, and the purpose of life. He was shown the intricate web that connects all life, a unity beyond comprehension. The light revealed that love and creativity are the driving forces of the universe, and that human beings are co-creators with the divine.
Mellon's exploration extended beyond Earth. He was taken to realms of extraordinary beauty and complexity, where he encountered beings of immense wisdom. These entities communicated telepathically, sharing insights about the evolution of consciousness and the infinite possibilities of existence. Mellon saw the future potential of humanity, a vision of unity, innovation, and spiritual awakening. At one point, Mellon was given the choice to return to his earthly life or remain in this transcendent state. Though he longed to stay in the light, he felt a profound responsibility to share what he had learned. The light assured him that his mission was not yet complete, and with a renewed sense of purpose, Mellon agreed to return, re-entering his body. Was jarring. The heaviness and pain of his physical form were stark contrasts to the freedom and ecstasy he had experienced. But something remarkable had occurred. Mellon's cancer was gone. Doctors were baffled by his sudden and complete recovery, unable to explain the miraculous healing. Mellon Thomas Benedict's near-death experience transformed him into a seeker and teacher. He dedicated his life to sharing the insights he gained, inspiring others to embrace love, creativity, and the interconnectedness of all life. His story continues to resonate with people worldwide, offering hope and a glimpse into the mysteries of existence. Through his journey, Mellon reminds us that we are far more than we appear to be. We are eternal beings, part of a divine tapestry, and our lives are filled with meaning and potential beyond what we can imagine. His near-death experience is a testament to the boundless love and creativity that underpin the universe, guiding us all toward a brighter and more harmonious future.
Dr. Mary Neal was a woman of many talents and passions. As an orthopedic spine surgeon, she was well acquainted with the human body's intricacies and the life-or-death stakes of her profession. Raised in a family that valued logic, reason, and hard work, her path led her to the sciences, where she thrived. However, Mary also harbored a deep love for the outdoors, finding solace and exhilaration in nature's vastness, particularly through kayaking. Though she held Christian beliefs, her life was more grounded in the practicalities of the medical world and the immediacy of her family life than in spiritual exploration. Her faith was more a quiet undercurrent than a roaring force until an extraordinary event in 1999 transformed her understanding of life, death, and the divine. It was during a kayaking expedition in Chile that Mary Neal's life would change irrevocably. She and her friends set out on a pristine river nestled in the Andes, seeking adventure in the fast-moving water. As an experienced kayaker, Mary felt confident navigating the rapids. The day was clear, and the river, though challenging, was within their skill level. However, nature has a way of humbling even the most prepared. As Mary approached a narrow section of the river, she realized late that the current was much stronger than anticipated. Her kayak was pulled into a treacherous waterfall, and she was thrust underwater, trapped by the force of the cascading water. She fought to free herself, but the power of the river was overwhelming. Submerged, unable to breathe, and pinned against rocks by the torrent, Mary felt her life slipping away. Her initial panic gave way to a strange sense of peace, as though she were being gently guided into the next phase of existence. Mary described the transition as being enveloped in a cocoon of love and light. Suddenly, she found herself in a realm that was more vivid, more real, than anything she had ever experienced on earth. The colors were brighter, the sensations more intense, and the sense of peace was all-encompassing. She felt an overwhelming presence of divine love, a love that was unconditional and absolute. In this place, she was not alone. Mary was greeted by a group of spiritual beings, whom she identified as angels or guides. These beings radiated warmth and familiarity, as though they had known her forever. They communicated not through words, but through feelings and thoughts, a direct transmission of understanding and comfort. The beings led Mary through a beautiful landscape, filled with indescribable beauty and serenity. She felt no pain, no fear, only an overwhelming sense of being home. Her earthly concerns, her body, and her previous life felt distant and unimportant in comparison to the profound peace of this place. During her time in this heavenly realm, Mary experienced a life review. Unlike the judgmental scenario she might have expected, this review was more about learning and growth. She was shown moments from her life, from her childhood to her adult years, in vivid detail. The review wasn't chronological, but focused on the lessons she had learned and the love she had given and received. Mary saw the impact of her actions on others, feeling both the joy and pain she had caused. This process deepened her understanding of empathy, compassion, and the interconnectedness of all lives. Mary was also shown how her life fit into a larger tapestry, revealing how even seemingly insignificant actions had ripples that extended far beyond what she could have imagined. She saw the beauty in human struggle, the growth that comes from challenges, and the divine purpose woven into every life. Amidst this profound experience, Mary was given a message. Her time on earth was not yet complete. Though she longed to stay in this place of peace, she was gently told that her purpose on earth was not yet fulfilled. The beings communicated that she still had important work to do, both for her family and in her role as a doctor. Mary was shown glimpses of her future, including the loss of her son, a tragedy that would come years later. This foreknowledge was given with immense love and the assurance that even in suffering, there is purpose and divine presence. Though reluctant, Mary accepted the message, understanding that her journey on earth was not yet over. The decision was made, and she felt herself being drawn back into her earthly body. Mary's return to her body was abrupt. She became aware of the cold, the pain, and the desperate attempts of her friends to resuscitate her. They had pulled her from the river and worked tirelessly to bring her back to life. After what seemed an eternity, she took a breath, rejoining the world of the living. Her body was battered, her lungs filled with water, but she was alive. The rescue and the journey back to civilization were arduous, filled with moments of intense pain and exhaustion. However, Mary carried with her the peace and love she had experienced in the heavenly realm. The physical recovery from the accident was long and challenging. Mary had suffered significant injuries, and it took months of rehabilitation before she could resume her normal activities. Yet, the true challenge lay in integrating her near-death experience into her life. Mary was no longer the same person. Her view of life, death, and the divine had been irrevocably altered. She felt a deep sense of purpose and a calling to share her experience with others. Her faith, once a quiet aspect of her life, became central. She began to see her work as a doctor not just as a profession, but as a ministry, a way to bring healing and hope to others. Mary eventually felt compelled to share her story publicly. She authored the book To Heaven and Back, a doctor's extraordinary account of her death, heaven, angels, and life again, which detailed her near-death experience and the profound lessons she learned. The book resonated with many, offering comfort and hope to those grappling with questions of faith and the afterlife. Through speaking engagements, interviews, and further writing, Mary Neal has become a prominent voice in the conversation about near-death experiences. Her story has inspired countless individuals to explore their own spirituality and to find peace in the knowledge of a loving, purposeful universe. Dr. Mary Neal's near-death experience was a catalyst for profound transformation. It deepened her faith, reshaped her approach to life and medicine, and gave her a platform to inspire others. Her story is one of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of love. Her journey reminds us that even in the face of death, there is a greater purpose and a divine presence guiding our lives. Mary's experience serves as a beacon of light for those seeking meaning and reassurance in their own journeys.
Colton Burpo's near-death experience has captivated many, particularly through the book Heaven is for Real, co-authored by his father Todd Burpo and Lynn Vincent. The narrative details Colton's extraordinary experiences during a critical illness at the age of 3. In March 2003, Colton Burpo, the son of Todd and Sonia Burpo, fell seriously ill with a misdiagnosed ruptured appendix. After initial tests suggested influenza, his condition deteriorated, leading to an emergency appendectomy. During his recovery, Colton began sharing remarkable accounts of his experiences during surgery, claiming to have visited heaven. Colton described leaving his body during surgery, observing the medical team and his parents from above. He recounted meeting deceased relatives, including his great-grandfather, whom he had never met, and an unborn sister lost to miscarriage, a fact his parents had not disclosed to him. Colton also described heaven vividly, mentioning details like Jesus riding a rainbow-colored horse and angels singing to him. The Burpo family's experiences were chronicled in the 2010 book Heaven is for Real, which became a New York Times bestseller. By 2014, over 10 million copies had been sold, and a film adaptation was released the same year, grossing over $100 million at the box office. Despite its popularity, the book faced criticism from various quarters. Some Christian groups questioned its theological accuracy, labeling certain claims as extra-biblical and problematic. Skeptics pointed to the lack of medical evidence that Colton was clinically dead during surgery, suggesting that his experiences could be attributed to other factors. Scientific research offers potential explanations for experiences like Colton's. Studies have found that near-death experiences are relatively common, with around 20% of heart attack survivors reporting phenomena such as moving toward a bright light or feelings of peace. Elevated levels of carbon dioxide in the blood, leading to oxygen deprivation in the brain, can cause euphoria, visions of light tunnels, and other typical symptoms of NDES. Colton Burpo's account continues to inspire both belief and skepticism. While some view his story as evidence of an afterlife, others consider it a manifestation of psychological and physiological processes during extreme stress. The narrative underscores the profound impact such experiences can have on individuals and their families, as well as the broader cultural fascination with the possibility of life beyond death. Danyon Brinkley is a prominent figure in the study of near-death experiences and NDEs, having reportedly undergone multiple such events that profoundly transformed his life and worldview. His accounts have been widely disseminated through books, lectures, and media appearances, sparking both intrigue and skepticism. Born on July 20, 1950 in South Carolina, Daniel Brinkley led a life marked by aggression and a penchant for violence during his early years. He served in the Marine Corps and was known for his combative nature, which he later attributed to a lack of empathy and understanding. This disposition set the stage for a dramatic transformation following his first near-death experience. First, near-death experience 1975. In 1975, at the age of 25, Brinkley was talking on the telephone during a thunderstorm when a bolt of lightning struck the phone line, sending thousands of volts of electricity through his body. The impact threw him across the room, and he was clinically dead for approximately 28 minutes. During this time, Brinkley reported an out-of-body experience, observing the frantic efforts of paramedics and his grieving family from above. He described being drawn into a tunnel of light, eventually encountering spiritual beings he referred to as beings of light. These entities presented him with a panoramic life review, allowing him to experience not only his actions but also their emotional impact on others. This profound empathy led Brinkley to re-evaluate his past behavior and instilled in him a deep sense of compassion. Furthermore, the beings of light imparted to him 117 revelations concerning the future, which he later referred to as boxes of knowledge. These visions encompassed global events, technological advancements, and socio-political changes. Brinkley claimed that many of these prophecies have since come to pass, though such assertions remain a topic of debate. Subsequent near-death experience. Brinkley experienced 2 more near-death episodes, each reinforcing the insights gained from his initial experience. The second occurred during a heart surgery in 1989, where complications led to another clinical death. The third transpired in 1997 following a brain surgery necessitated by an aneurysm. In each instance, Brinkley reported encounters with the beings of light and received further affirmations of his life's purpose.
In collaboration with Paul Perry, Brinkley authored several books detailing his experiences and the lessons he gleaned. This memoir recounts Brinkley's first near-death experience and the subsequent revelations. The book achieved significant commercial success, spending over 25 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list and being distributed in over 20 countries. At Peace in the Light 1995, a continuation of his journey, this work delves deeper into the spiritual insights and personal transformations resulting from his NDS. Secrets of the Light 2009, co-authored with his wife, Catherine Brinkley. This book explores practical applications of the wisdom gained from his experiences, aiming to guide readers towards spiritual enlightenment. 10 Things to Know Before You Go 2014. This publication offers insights into the afterlife and provides guidance on living a fulfilling life in preparation for the transition beyond death. Brinkley's story was adapted into a television film titled Saved by the Light, which aired on Fox in 1995. Starring Eric Roberts as Daniel, the film dramatizes his near-death experience and subsequent transformation, bringing his story to a broader audience. As a sought-after speaker, Brinkley has delivered lectures worldwide based on his experiences. His talks emphasize the importance of compassion, service to others, and the development of one's spiritual potential. Inspired by his experiences, Brinkley became a passionate advocate for hospice and palliative care. He co-founded the Twilight Brigade, an organization dedicated to providing companionship and support to veterans and others nearing the end of life. Through this work, Brinkley has spent thousands of hours at the bedsides of the dying, offering comfort and assisting them in their transition. Despite widespread acclaim, Brinkley's accounts have faced scrutiny and skepticism. Critics have questioned the veracity of his military service claims and the accuracy of his prophetic visions. Investigations into his background have revealed discrepancies, leading some to challenge the authenticity of his narratives. Brinkley often reflects on the transformative power of his near-death experiences, emphasizing themes of love, forgiveness, and the interconnectedness of all life. He advocates for the recognition of one's inner light and the pursuit of a purpose-driven life. His philosophy encourages individuals to transcend fear, particularly the fear of death, and to embrace life with compassion and empathy. Daniel Brinkley's near-death experiences have profoundly impacted his life, leading him from a path of aggression to one of compassion and service. Through his writings, lectures, and advocacy work, he has shared his insights into the nature of life and the afterlife, inspiring many to contemplate the deeper aspects of existence. While his accounts have sparked both intrigue and skepticism, Brinkley's message of love and service continues to resonate with audiences worldwide. Nancy Rhines's near-death experience. Nancy Rhines grew up in a world dominated by scientific reasoning and empirical thought. Raised in a household that prioritized rational thinking, she pursued a career in the sciences, earning degrees in geology and archaeology. Her professional life as a science writer and corporate trainer revolved around facts, data, and the observable world. Any mention of spirituality or religion was dismissed as mere superstition or cultural artifacts of human evolution. Her worldview left little room for concepts like the soul, afterlife, or any higher power. Her life was, by her own admission, ordinary yet fulfilling within the confines of her scientific pursuits. She enjoyed hiking, cycling, and the natural beauty of Colorado, where she lived. The world of Nancy Rhines was predictable, measurable, and devoid of the mystical until a life-altering event shattered the foundation of her beliefs. On a cold January morning in 2014, Nancy Rhines set out on her bicycle, as she often did. The roads were familiar, her path well-trodden. She enjoyed the serenity and clarity that cycling brought to her mind. However, this day would not end in the usual way. As she pedaled down a quiet street near Boulder, Colorado, a large SUV came barreling toward her. The driver, distracted by a mobile device, did not see Nancy in time to stop. The collision was sudden, violent, and life-altering. Nancy was thrown off her bike, her body colliding with the pavement in a cacophony of pain and chaos. She was rushed to the hospital with multiple fractures, internal injuries, and significant trauma. As the medical team worked to save her life, Nancy slipped into unconsciousness. What happened next defied her understanding of reality, forever altering her perception of life and death. Nancy recalls the moment she left her body with clarity. One moment she was in immense pain, surrounded by the frantic energy of medical professionals, and the next she was floating above the scene, observing the chaotic efforts to stabilize her. There was a profound sense of detachment, a release from the physical suffering she had endured. She found herself in a tunnel of light, a common motif in near-death experiences. The light was warm, inviting, and imbued with an indescribable sense of peace. Nancy felt drawn toward it, enveloped by a love so profound it transcended any earthly emotion she had ever known. As she moved through this tunnel, she was greeted by a spiritual guide, a being of light who radiated kindness and wisdom. This guide communicated telepathically, conveying messages not in words, but in feelings and images that Nancy understood intuitively. The guide welcomed her to this realm, a place she described as being more real than anything she had experienced in her physical life. One of the most impactful aspects of Nancy's ND was the life review. She was shown her entire life, not as a chronological series of events, but as a web of interconnected experiences. She saw not only her actions, but also the ripple effects they had on others. She felt the emotions of those she had hurt or helped, understanding for the first time the profound interconnectedness of all beings. This review was not judgmental, but rather a teaching tool designed to help her understand the importance of love, empathy, and compassion. Nancy was shown moments where a simple act of kindness had a cascading effect, touching the lives of people she never even knew. Conversely, she also felt the pain she had caused through neglect or thoughtlessness, learning valuable lessons about the impact of her actions. The guide conveyed to Nancy that the purpose of human life is to learn to love unconditionally and to grow spiritually. She was shown a future that emphasized choices made from love rather than fear. The guide stressed the importance of living authentically, embracing kindness, and fostering a sense of community and service. Nancy was also made aware of the limitless nature of human potential. She learned that each person has a unique purpose, a path that contributes to the collective growth of humanity. The guide assured her that challenges and hardships are opportunities for growth, and that suffering can lead to deeper understanding and compassion. Nancy was given the choice to stay in this realm of peace and love or return to her earthly life. Although the temptation to remain was strong, she felt a calling to return, to share the insights and wisdom she had gained. The guide assured her that she would be supported in this mission, and that her life would take on new meaning and purpose. When Nancy awoke in the hospital, her body was broken, but her spirit was transformed. The physical recovery was arduous, involving multiple surgeries and months of rehabilitation. Yet, her internal transformation was immediate. She no longer saw the world through the lens of skepticism and doubt. Instead, she was filled with a profound sense of purpose and a desire to live a life centered on love and service. The integration of her NDE into daily life was not without challenges. Nancy struggled to reconcile her scientific background with the spiritual truths she had encountered. She spent months reflecting, meditating, and seeking ways to harmonize these seemingly disparate aspects of her identity. Eventually, Nancy found a balance, realizing that science and spirituality are mutually exclusive but can coexist and complement each other. She began to view her scientific training as a tool to explore and understand the spiritual realms she had experienced.
Peter Anthony's near-death experience. Peter Anthony was a man driven by success and ambition. His career in the entertainment industry as a film and television producer had been on a steady rise. From an early age, Peter was a dreamer, captivated by the magic of storytelling. He found a niche in Hollywood, where creativity and hard work opened doors to a promising future. Yet, beneath the surface of his professional achievements, a sense of dissatisfaction lingered, an unfulfilled yearning for something more profound. Then fame or fortune. The turning point in Peter's life came unexpectedly during what seemed like a routine medical situation. Unbeknownst to him, this event would not only alter his physical life, but would also thrust him into a spiritual odyssey that defied logic and reshaped his understanding of reality. It all began with a simple visit to the doctor. Peter had been experiencing symptoms that he initially dismissed as minor: a persistent cough, fatigue, and general malaise. However, as the symptoms worsened, he sought medical advice. After a series of tests, Peter received a diagnosis that shook him to his core: a ruptured appendix, which had gone undetected for too long, resulting in severe peritonitis and sepsis. The condition was life-threatening. Peter was rushed into emergency surgery, with little time to process the gravity of the situation. The medical team worked tirelessly to save his life, but complications arose during the procedure. As his body lay on the operating table, Peter's spirit embarked on a journey far beyond the confines of the hospital.
Peter recalled the sensation of leaving his body with vivid clarity. One moment, he was enveloped in the sterile chaos of the operating room, and the next, he was floating above, observing the frantic efforts of the medical team to stabilize him. This out-of-body experience was accompanied by a profound sense of calm, as if he were being gently guided into another dimension. He found himself in a tunnel of light, a place of indescribable beauty and peace. The light was not just a visual phenomenon, but a living presence, radiating unconditional love and acceptance. Peter felt drawn toward it, embraced by a warmth that transcended anything he had ever known. As he moved through the tunnel, he encountered beings of light, spiritual guides who exuded wisdom and compassion. These beings communicated telepathically, conveying messages of love, understanding, and reassurance. Peter felt an overwhelming sense of being home, as though he had returned to a place he had always known but had forgotten. In this ethereal realm, Peter experienced a life review, a common aspect of many near-death experiences. He was shown his life, not as a chronological sequence of events, but as a series of interconnected experiences. Each moment, each decision, was presented with clarity, highlighting the impact of his actions on others. Peter saw the times when he had acted out of love and kindness, and how those moments had ripple effects far beyond what he had realized. Conversely, he also saw the times when he had caused pain or acted selfishly, understanding the hurt he had inflicted on others. This review was not judgmental, but deeply educational, helping him grasp the profound interconnectedness of all lives. The beings of light guided him through this process, emphasizing the importance of love, empathy, and compassion. They conveyed that the purpose of human life is to grow spiritually, to learn from our experiences, and to help others along their journeys. A glimpse of the divine. Messages from beyond. Peter was shown visions of the universe, a vast and intricate tapestry of light and energy. He saw the interconnectedness of all things, the way in which every soul, a part of a greater whole. The beings of light shared insights about the nature of reality, the eternal nature of the soul, and the purpose of existence. One of the most profound messages Peter received was about the power of intention. He was shown how thoughts and intentions create reality, how love and fear shape the world in which we live. This understanding was both humbling and empowering, as Peter realized the responsibility that comes with this knowledge. The guides also shared glimpses of his future, revealing challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. They emphasized that life is a journey of growth, and that even in moments of suffering, there is purpose and potential for transformation. Peter was given the choice to remain in this realm of light or to return to his earthly life. Though the peace and love of this place were overwhelming, he felt a calling to return, to fulfill his mission and share the insights he had gained. With the guide's blessing, Peter felt himself being gently drawn back into his body. He awoke in the hospital, disoriented but alive. The medical team was astonished by his recovery, given the severity of his condition. Peter's body was weak, but his spirit was rejuvenated. He carried with him the profound peace and understanding he had encountered during his near-death experience. The journey back to health was long and arduous. Peter faced months of physical recovery, including further surgeries and intensive therapy. However, the true challenge lay in integrating the spiritual insights he had gained into his daily life. Peter's perspective on life had shifted dramatically, his priorities changed, and the pursuit of fame and material success no longer held the same allure. Instead, he felt compelled to explore spirituality, to understand the deeper meaning of his experience, and to share his story with others. He began to meditate, study spiritual teachings, and engage in practices that nurtured his soul. Peter found solace in nature, creativity, and meaningful connections with others. His relationships deepened as he sought to live with greater authenticity, love, and compassion. Peter felt a calling to share his near-death experience with the world. He began speaking at conferences, participating in interviews, and writing about his journey. He emphasized the lessons he had learned, the importance of love, the power of intention, and the interconnectedness of all beings. Peter encouraged others to embrace their spiritual nature, to live authentically, and to cultivate compassion in their daily lives. His message was one of hope and transformation, reminding people that even in the face of adversity, there is always the potential for growth and enlightenment. Peter Anthony's near-death experience profoundly transformed his life, guiding him toward a path of spiritual awakening and service. His journey serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless potential for growth and understanding. Through his teachings, writings, and personal example, Peter continues to inspire others to explore their spirituality, to live with purpose, and to embrace the transformative power of love. His story is a beacon of light, offering reassurance and guidance to those navigating the challenges of life and the mysteries of existence. Peter Anthony's near-death experience was a journey of awakening, a profound encounter with the divine that reshaped his understanding of life, death, and the universe. His story is one of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of love, reminding us all of the infinite possibilities that lie within the human spirit. Thomas Welch's near-death experience. Thomas Welch was, by all outward appearances, an ordinary man. A hard-working father and husband, he lived a simple life in a small town where he was well liked by neighbors and friends. His days were filled with routine working as a contractor, raising his children, and spending time with his wife, Emily. Though Thomas was not deeply religious, he maintained a quiet faith, occasionally attending church and praying during difficult times. Life for Thomas was steady, predictable, and grounded in the tangible world around him. But life has a way of taking unexpected turns, often thrusting people into situations that challenge their understanding of reality. For Thomas, that moment came on a fateful day when an accident would propel him into an experience that defied everything he thought he knew about life, death, and the universe. It was an early spring morning when Thomas set out for work. The sun had just risen, casting a golden hue over the town as Thomas drove his truck along familiar roads. The day seemed like any other, with the promise of hard work and the satisfaction of a job well done. As he approached a construction site, Thomas's truck was struck by a large vehicle that had lost control. The impact was devastating, sending his truck careening off the road and into a ditch. The world around him blurred as the vehicle flipped, glass shattering, metal crumpling, and the sound of sirens growing faint in the distance. Thomas's body was crushed under the weight of the wreckage. He felt intense pain, then an overwhelming sense of peace as his consciousness began to fade. His last thoughts were of his family, his wife, his children, and a prayer for their well-being. As Thomas's physical body lay broken and battered, his spirit began to rise. He felt himself leaving his body, floating above the wreckage, observing the chaos below. Emergency responders arrived, their voices urgent and filled with concern. Thomas watched as they worked to free him from the mangled truck, but he felt no fear, no pain, only a profound sense of detachment and serenity. Suddenly, Thomas found himself being drawn into a tunnel of light. The tunnel was not dark or foreboding, but filled with a warm, golden glow that seemed to beckon him forward. As he moved through the tunnel, he felt an overwhelming sense of love, a love that was all-encompassing and unconditional. At the end of the tunnel, Thomas emerged into a realm that defied description. It was a place of indescribable beauty, where the colors were more vibrant, the air more fragrant, and the sense of peace more profound than anything he had ever experienced. The landscape was filled with rolling hills, crystal-clear streams, and fields of flowers that seemed to glow with an inner light. Thomas felt as though he were home, as though he had been here before, even though he could not recall when. He was greeted by beings of light, figures that radiated warmth and wisdom. These beings communicated not with words, but through thoughts and feelings, their messages resonating deeply within his soul. One of the beings stepped forward, emanating a love so pure that Thomas felt tears welling up in his eyes. This being, whom Thomas later described as his guardian angel, guided him through this heavenly realm, showing him the interconnectedness of all things and the boundless love that permeates the universe. In this realm of light, Thomas underwent a life review, a common experience for those who have had near-death experiences. Unlike the linear progression of time on Earth, the life review unfolded in a way that allowed Thomas to see his life from multiple perspectives simultaneously. He was shown scenes from his childhood, moments of joy and pain, times of triumph and failure. He saw how his actions had impacted others, both positively and negatively. Thomas felt the emotions of those he had interacted with, the joy he had brought to his family, the hurt he had caused in moments of anger or frustration. This review was not judgmental, but educational. The beings of light helped Thomas understand the lessons he had learned and the growth he had achieved. They emphasized the importance of love, compassion, and forgiveness, showing him that these were the true measures of a life well lived. As Thomas continued his journey, he received messages from the beings of light. They shared insights about the nature of existence, the purpose of life, and the eternal nature of the soul. Thomas was shown that life on earth is a school, a place where souls come to learn and grow through experiences, both joyous and challenging. The beings explained that each soul has a unique mission, a purpose that contributes to the greater whole. They showed Thomas how his life, with all its ups and downs, had been perfectly designed to help him fulfill his mission. Even the accident, which seemed so tragic, was part of a larger plan, an opportunity for growth and transformation. Thomas was also given glimpses of the future, not just his own, but the future of humanity. He saw the potential for great beauty and harmony, as well as the challenges that lay ahead. The beings reassured him that love is the guiding force of the universe, and that by living in alignment with love, humanity can overcome any obstacle. Though Thomas felt an overwhelming desire to remain in this heavenly realm, he was given a choice, to stay or to return to his earthly life. The beings of light explained that his work on earth was not yet complete, that he had more to learn, more to teach, and more love to share. Thomas thought of his family, of his wife and children who needed him. He realized that, despite the allure of this beautiful realm, his heart still belonged with them. With the beings' blessings, he chose to return, knowing that his experience would forever change the way he lived his life. Thomas's return to his body was sudden and jarring. He awoke in a hospital room, surrounded by beeping machines and concerned faces. His body was weak, his injuries severe, but his spirit was strong. He felt a profound sense of peace, a peace that transcended his physical pain. The medical staff were amazed at his recovery. Given the severity of the accident, they had not expected him to survive, let alone awaken with such clarity and strength. Thomas knew that his survival was not a mere coincidence, but a testament to the divine plan that had been revealed to him. The journey to recovery was long and challenging. Thomas endured multiple surgeries, months of physical therapy, and moments of doubt and frustration. Yet, he never lost the sense of peace and purpose he had gained during his near-death experience. Thomas's perspective on life had shifted dramatically. He no longer saw life as a series of random events, but as a carefully orchestrated journey of growth and learning. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, a calling to live with greater love, compassion, and authenticity. He became more involved in his community, reaching out to help those in need, sharing his story, and offering comfort to those facing their own challenges. Thomas's relationships deepened as he sought to live with greater empathy and understanding, cherishing each moment with his loved ones. Thomas felt a strong desire to share his near-death experience with others. He began speaking at local churches, community centers, and support groups, recounting his journey and the lessons he had learned. His story resonated with many, offering hope and inspiration to those struggling with their own doubts and fears. He emphasized the importance of living with love and intention, of recognizing the divine presence in everyday life, and of embracing the interconnectedness of all beings. Thomas's message was one of hope, reminding people that even in the darkest moments, there is a light that guides and sustains us. Thomas Welch's near-death experience transformed his life, reshaping his understanding of existence and imbuing him with a profound sense of purpose. His journey from the brink of death to a renewed life of love and service serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless potential for growth and transformation. Through his story, Thomas continues to inspire others to seek deeper meaning in their own lives, to live with greater love and compassion, and to trust in the divine plan that guides us all. His experience is a reminder that life is a precious gift, a journey of learning and growth, and that love is the ultimate force that binds us together.
Alana Nava's near-death experience. Alana Nava was living a life far removed from spiritual contemplation. A young man in his 20s, Alan was immersed in the fast-paced world of business and pleasure. Born and raised in Israel, he had grown up in a traditional Jewish family, but religion was not a significant part of his life. Like many of his peers, Alan was more focused on material success and personal gratification than on spiritual growth. Despite outward appearances, Alan often felt an inner emptiness. He sought meaning through wealth, adventure, and relationships, but nothing seemed to fill the void within him. Unbeknownst to him, his life was about to take a dramatic turn, one that would thrust him into a spiritual journey far beyond anything he could have imagined. That the turning point came on a seemingly ordinary day. Alan was going about his routine when he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his chest. The pain intensified rapidly, spreading throughout his body until he collapsed. Struggling to breathe, Alan was rushed to the hospital. The diagnosis was dire, a sudden and severe heart attack. As doctors worked frantically to save him, Alan's body began to shut down, his heart stopped, and the medical team declared him clinically dead. What happened next would change Alan's life forever. Alan's consciousness began to detach from his physical body. He found himself floating above the hospital room, observing the frantic efforts of the medical staff to revive him. Though he was aware of the gravity of the situation, he felt no fear or pain, only a profound sense of peace. He realized that he was no longer bound by the limitations of his physical body. His awareness expanded, and he felt a sense of liberation as he drifted away from the earthly realm. Alan was being drawn toward a tunnel of light, a place of immense beauty and serenity.
As Alan moved through the tunnel, he was enveloped by a brilliant, warm light. The light was not just a visual experience, but a living presence, radiating love, compassion, and understanding. He felt completely accepted, as if every flaw and mistake he had ever made were washed away by the pure, unconditional love emanating from the light. In this ethereal realm, Alan encountered beings of light, spiritual entities that exuded wisdom and kindness. These beings communicated with him telepathically, conveying messages of reassurance and guidance. Alan felt an overwhelming sense of homecoming, as if he had returned to a place he had always known but had forgotten. One of the most profound aspects of Alan's near-death experience was the life review. In this process, he was shown his entire life, not as a linear sequence of events, but as a tapestry of interconnected moments. Each action, thought, and decision was presented with crystal clarity, revealing the ripple effects they had on others. Alan saw how his choices had impacted not only himself, but also the people around him. He felt the emotions of those he had hurt and those he had helped. The review was not judgmental, but deeply educational, allowing him to understand the lessons of his life from a higher perspective. Through this review, Alan realized the importance of love, kindness, and compassion. He saw that the true purpose of life is not material success, but spiritual growth and the positive influence one can have on others. During his time in the realm of light, Alan received profound insights into the nature of reality, the purpose of life, and the eternal nature of the soul. The beings of light explained that life on earth is a journey of the soul, a temporary experience designed for learning and growth. They conveyed that each soul is part of a greater whole, interconnected with all other souls and the divine source. The purpose of life is to cultivate love, compassion, and wisdom, and to help others along their spiritual journeys. Alan was shown the immense power of thoughts and intentions, and how they shape one's reality. The beings also revealed that Alan's life had a specific purpose, a mission he had agreed to fulfill before incarnating on Earth. They encouraged him to embrace this purpose and to live with greater awareness and intention. Alan was given a glimpse of the infinite nature of existence. He saw the vastness of the universe, a boundless realm of light and energy, where all things are interconnected. Time and space, as he understood them, ceased to exist. In this state of expanded consciousness, Alan experienced a sense of unity with the divine source, a profound oneness that transcended all earthly concerns. He was shown that the physical world is just one aspect of reality, a small part of a much larger, multidimensional existence. This revelation filled him with awe and reverence for the divine and the intricate beauty of creation. Despite the overwhelming peace and love of the divine realm, Alan was given a choice, to remain in this heavenly state or to return to his earthly life. The beings of light gently guided him, reminding him of his mission and the unfinished work he had on earth. Alan thought of his family, his loved ones, and the people he had yet to help. He realized that his journey was not yet complete, and that by returning, he could bring the wisdom he had gained back to the physical world. With a sense of purpose and resolve, Alan chose to return. Alan's return to his body was sudden and intense. He awoke in the hospital, gasping for air, as the medical team celebrated his miraculous recovery. Though his body was weak, his spirit was filled with a newfound strength and clarity. The doctors were astounded by his survival, given the severity of his heart attack. Alan knew that his recovery was not just a medical miracle, but a spiritual awakening. He had been given a second chance at life, and he was determined to make the most of it. The journey of integrating his near-death experience into his daily life was both challenging and transformative. Alan faced the task of reconciling the profound spiritual insights he had gained with the practical realities of his earthly existence. He began to explore spirituality more deeply, studying various religious and philosophical teachings. Alan adopted a more mindful and intentional approach to life, focusing on love, kindness, and service to others. His relationships deepened as he sought to live with greater authenticity and compassion. Alan's perspective on life had shifted dramatically. He no longer pursued material success for its own sake, but sought to fulfill his spiritual mission. He found joy and fulfillment in helping others, sharing his story, and spreading messages of hope and love. Alan felt a calling to share his near-death experience with the world. He began speaking at conferences, writing about his journey, and participating in interviews. His story resonated with many, offering hope and inspiration to those seeking meaning and understanding in their own lives. He emphasized the lessons he had learned, the importance of love, the power of intention, and the interconnectedness of all beings. Alan encouraged others to embrace their spiritual nature, to live authentically, and to cultivate compassion in their daily lives. Alon Anava's near-death experience profoundly transformed his life, guiding him toward a path of spiritual awakening and service. His journey serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless potential for growth and understanding. Through his teachings, writings, and personal example, Alon continues to inspire others to explore their spirituality, to live with purpose, and to embrace the transformative power of love. His story is a beacon of light, offering reassurance and guidance to those navigating the challenges of life and the mysteries of existence.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button and watch other videos from our channel. Please subscribe to our channel to watch inspirational content from all areas of life.